warm embrace of the Caribbean Sea, where the Atlantic horizon meets a turquoise shore, lies an island born of volcanic fire and shaped by the steady breath of the trade winds. It is a land of intense, vibrant life, where mountains draped in rainforest plunge toward coastlines of white sand, and the air itself seems to move to a gentle, unspoken rhythm. This is a place of profound natural beauty, but also of a deep and complex human story. This is Puerto Rico. From the perspective of the ocean that surrounds it, the island appears as a bridge between two worlds, a cornerstone of the Caribbean, yet intrinsically linked to the North American continent. The light here possesses a unique tropical clarity, illuminating the pastel colors of colonial cities and the impossible greens of its interior with a brilliant intensity. But to look beyond the sun-drenched shores is to discover a society woven from a rich and layered history, a culture that has not only endured but flourished, creating a unique identity from the threads of its Taino, African, and Spanish heritage. This is a story not of a fleeting vacation, but of a deep and lasting home, a story of the people, the spirit, and the daily life of Puerto Rico. The day in Puerto Rico often begins with the scent of coffee. Not just any coffee, but a strong, dark, and sweet café con leche, a ritual that fuels the island. In the cities, the morning starts with a hum of activity. The sound of traffic builds steadily, a familiar chorus of cars and buses. But in the neighborhoods, a different rhythm takes hold. The local panaderia or bakery is the first stop for many. Here, people gather for fresh, warm bread, sweet pastries like quesitos, and the first conversations of the day. It is more than a place to buy food. It is a cornerstone of the community, a place where news is shared, local politics, the results of last night's baseball game, concerns about an elderly neighbor, and connections are reaffirmed over the counter. Life here is lived in close proximity. Neighbors are not strangers. They are an extension of the family. Doors are often left open, and the lines between private homes and public streets blur. A typical street is a mosaic of life, a meticulously cared-for home with a blooming garden right next to one, showing the beautiful decay of time and tropical humidity. The ever-present Puerto Rican flag hanging from a balcony, a small shrine to a saint in a front yard. Children play in the streets under the watchful eyes of the entire block, and an impromptu conversation can easily turn into a shared meal. This sense of community is the bedrock of Puerto Rican society. It is a powerful social fabric woven from shared history, mutual support, and a genuine warmth that is extended freely. Even in the bustling capital of San Juan, with its high-rise buildings and urban pace, life retains this neighborhood heartbeat. In the quieter towns, nestled in the mountains or along the coast, this connection is even more profound. The pace of life slows, dictated less by the clock and more by the sun, the sea, and the simple, dependable routines of the day. The family is the undisputed center of the Puerto Rican universe. It is a multi-generational unit, a source of immense strength, identity, and support. It is common for grandparents, parents, and children to live in the same house or on the same street. Sunday is Family Day, a sacred time for gathering, usually at the home of a grandparent. The scene is a vivid one. The aroma of roasting pork fills the air. Uncles are locked in a passionate game of dominoes on the porch, their tiles slapping rhythmically on the table. Aunts and cousins catch up in the living room, and the abuela, the grandmother, presides over the kitchen, the undisputed heart of the home. This day is a loud, joyful, and life-affirming ritual that reinforces the bonds that hold the society together. This deep-seated importance of family fosters a culture of interdependence, an unspoken understanding that one is never truly alone. To understand Puerto Rico is to understand its culture, a rich and vibrant fusion of Taíno, Spanish, and African roots. This heritage is not a relic of the past. It is a living, breathing force that permeates every aspect of daily life. It is in the language, a unique dialect of Spanish filled with its own idioms and rhythms. It is in the music, the very soul of the island. The beat of salsa, the folk melodies of Jibaro music played on the cuatro, the island's national stringed instrument, the infectious rhythm of bomba and plena. These are the sounds that fill the air at family gatherings, festivals, and neighborhood parties. Bomba, in particular, with its call and response between drummer and dancer, is a powerful and direct link to the island's African heritage, a form of expression and resistance that is still practiced with passion today. Music and dance are not just forms of entertainment. They are expressions of identity, joy, and resilience. This pride in cultural identity is immense and palpable. The term Boricua is used with deep affection and pride. It is a word derived from Boriquín, the original Taíno name for the island, and it signifies a connection to a heritage that predates any colonial power. This identity is celebrated with passion and color in the island's many festivals. From the vibrant horned Vejigante masks of the Ponce Carnival to the patron saint festivals held in every town, these events are a powerful display of collective identity. They are a time for the community to come together, to celebrate their shared history, and to pass traditions down to the next generation. This cultural identity is also shaped by the island's complex political status. As a territory of the United States, Puerto Ricans are U.S. citizens, yet they cannot vote in presidential elections and have no voting representation in Congress. This duality creates a unique cultural landscape where American influences, from fast food chains to federal laws, are woven into the fabric of a deeply Latin American society. This is visible in everyday life. People use the US dollar and watch NFL games, but their primary language is Spanish, and their cultural clock is set to a Caribbean rhythm. They celebrate American Thanksgiving, often with a roasted pork instead of a turkey, and then fully immerse themselves in one of the world's longest Christmas seasons, filled with uniquely Puerto Rican traditions. This reality shapes conversations, politics, and the very sense of self, creating a people who are fiercely proud of their Puerto Rican heritage while navigating their place within a larger, more powerful nation. The economy of Puerto Rico is a complex mix of modern industry and local enterprise. For decades, manufacturing, particularly in pharmaceuticals and medical devices, was a major driver of the economy, attracting large American companies with tax incentives. While this sector remains significant, the economic landscape has shifted. Today, the service industry is the largest employer, with tourism, retail, and government jobs providing the most opportunities. For many Puerto Ricans, work is found in small, family-owned businesses, the corner store, the local restaurant, the mechanic's shop. These enterprises are the lifeblood of the local economy, reflecting a culture of entrepreneurship and self-reliance. Alongside this is a thriving informal economy. It is the man selling fresh coconuts from his truck on the side of the road, the woman making and selling pastels from her home kitchen during the holidays, the independent handyman whose reputation is built on word of mouth. This is the Risuelve economy, the spirit of making it work, that is so central to the island's character. In the coastal towns, the rhythm of the economy is often tied to the sea. Fishing is still a way of life for some, providing fresh seafood to local markets and restaurants. Tourism is a double-edged sword. It is a vital source of income and employment, particularly in areas like Old San Juan, Fajardo, and Rincon. However, it also creates a service-based economy that can be seasonal and low-wage, and it often presents a polished, simplified version of the island that stands in stark contrast to the daily realities faced by most residents. The island has faced significant economic challenges for years, including a prolonged recession and a massive public debt crisis. These struggles have fueled a steady migration of people to the mainland United States in search of better job opportunities and economic stability. It is a difficult choice that splits families and creates a sense of loss. Nearly every family on the island has relatives living in states like Florida, New York, or Texas. This creates a diaspora that remains deeply connected to the island, a constant back and forth, often called the guagua aérea, or the Airbus. In Puerto Rico, food is a love language. It is the centerpiece of every celebration, the comfort in times of trouble, and the anchor of daily life. The cuisine is a flavorful and honest reflection of the island's history, a delicious blend of Spanish, African, and Taíno influences. It is known as cocina criolla, and it is built on a foundation of bold flavors and hearty, satisfying ingredients. The staples are ever present. Plantains are king, prepared in countless ways, fried as tostones, sweet as maduros, or mashed with garlic and pork cracklings to create the island's signature dish, mofongo. The sound of the pestle against the wooden pylon is one of the classic sounds of a Puerto Rican kitchen. Rice and beans, or arroz con habichuelas, is the humble, essential foundation of a true Puerto Rican meal. Arroz con gandules, rice with pigeon peas, is a festive dish, its rich, savory flavor synonymous with holidays and family gatherings. Pork is another cornerstone, especially lechon asado, a whole pig slow-roasted over an open fire until its skin is perfectly crisp, a celebratory feast that draws families and communities together. Home cooking is the heart of the culinary culture. Recipes are passed down through generations, not written in books, but taught by feel and by taste. The secret to many dishes is sofrito, a fragrant base of sautéed onions, garlic, peppers, and herbs. The aroma of sofrito hitting a hot pan is the smell of home for millions of Boricuas. During the holidays, the entire family might gather for the assembly line-like process of making pastels, a savory meat-filled masa wrapped in banana leaves, a tradition that is as much about togetherness as it is about food. While home cooking reigns supreme, the island's street food culture is vibrant and essential. Along the beaches and roadsides, you will find kiosks selling crispy, savory fritters like alcapurrias and bacalaitos, perfect for a quick, satisfying bite. In the towns, cozy cafes and local restaurants serve up daily lunch specials, offering a true taste of the island. far from the tourist menus. A meal here is more than just sustenance. It is an act of sharing, an expression of culture, and a taste of home. The natural world is an inescapable and defining feature of life in Puerto Rico. The landscape is not a distant backdrop. It is an active participant in the daily lives of its people. The island is remarkably diverse for its size. It is dominated by its central mountain range, the Cordillera Central, a spine of green peaks that creates a rugged and beautiful interior. This is the home of El Yunque, the only tropical rainforest in the United States National Forest System, a place of immense biodiversity, a world of lush foliage, cascading waterfalls, and the distinctive two-note call of the native coqui frog, a sound that is the unofficial anthem of the Puerto Rican night. Yet, in the southwest, near Guanica, lies a subtropical dry forest, a completely different ecosystem of cacti and scrubland. And in the north, around Arecibo, a unique karst landscape of limestone hills, or mogotes, creates a dramatic and otherworldly terrain. For many, life is lived by the coast. With hundreds of miles of coastline, the sea is a constant presence. The beaches are the island's public parks, the destination for weekend family outings. The scene is a familiar one. Multiple generations gather under tents, a portable grill is fired up, and music plays from a speaker. A day-long celebration of family and nature. From the world-class surfing waves of Rincon on the west coast to the calm, protected bays of Fajardo in the east, the relationship with the ocean is deep and personal. The nearby islands of Vieques and Culebra offer an escape to an even more pristine version of this coastal paradise, with bioluminescent bays that glow in the dark and some of the most beautiful beaches in the Caribbean. This tropical environment shapes an outdoor culture. The warm climate invites life to be lived in the open air. Balconies and porches are treated as extensions of the living room, places for socializing and catching the evening breeze. This deep connection to the land also comes with a profound respect for its power. Living in the Caribbean means living with the reality of hurricanes, a force of nature that can be both beautiful and terrifying, and which has shaped the island's landscape and the resilience of its people for centuries. Life in modern Puerto Rico is a blend of convenience and challenge, a place where 21st century infrastructure exists alongside systems that are often strained. The island is highly developed, with a network of modern highways that connect the major cities and towns. The car is essential for daily life. For the vast majority of Puerto Ricans, owning a vehicle is not a luxury, but a necessity. This reliance on cars leads to significant traffic congestion, especially in the San Juan metropolitan area. Away from the highways, however, roads become narrow and winding, especially in the mountainous interior, where a short distance on a map can translate into a long, careful drive. Public transportation is limited outside of the capital. While San Juan has a bus system and a single urban rail line, the tren urbano for most of the island, the primary form of public transit, is the Público. These are privately owned vans, or large cars that run on semi-fixed routes, offering a more flexible but less predictable way to travel. They are a classic and essential part of the island's transportation fabric, a symbol of local ingenuity. This mix of the modern and the makeshift is a defining characteristic of daily life. It is possible to live in a modern apartment with high-speed internet, yet still experience the frequent power outages that plague the island's fragile electrical grid. The infrastructure, much of it built decades ago, struggles to keep up with the demands of a modern society and the increasing threat of powerful hurricanes. This reality fosters a unique kind of resilience and resourcefulness, a resuelve mentality. People are accustomed to making do, to finding solutions, and to relying on family and neighbors when public systems fail. It is a daily balancing act between the comforts of the modern world and the persistent challenges of island life. For the young people of Puerto Rico, life is a navigation between a deep love for their island home and the powerful pull of opportunities elsewhere. The education system is extensive, with a network of public and private schools and a number of excellent universities, led by the University of Puerto Rico system. These universities are not just centers of learning, they are vibrant hubs of cultural and political debate, where the future of the island is passionately discussed and shaped. However, upon graduation, young, educated Puerto Ricans face a difficult choice. The island's long-standing economic struggles mean that well-paying jobs in many professional fields are scarce. This reality forces many to look to the mainland United States for career opportunities that simply do not exist at home. This brain drain is one of the most significant challenges facing the island's future. It is a quiet exodus of talent and energy. This period of life is a modern rite of passage. Leaving the island for college or a first job is common, but the connection to home remains incredibly strong. Young people in the diaspora often speak of a powerful desire to one day return. For those who stay, there is a passionate commitment to making a difference. They are artists, entrepreneurs, and activists, creating new spaces, businesses, and social movements. For this generation, their identity is a complex and proud one, shaped by global trends while remaining deeply rooted in the traditions of their island. The rhythm of day and night in Puerto Rico is a study in contrasts. The daytime is for work, for activity, for moving forward. The sun is intense, and life is lived with a sense of purpose. The cities are filled with the sounds of commerce and traffic, the coastal towns with the work of fishermen and tour operators. As the sun begins to set, a palpable shift occurs. The fierce heat of the day softens into a warm, breezy evening. The coqui frogs begin their nightly chorus. This is when life turns inward, toward family, friends, and community. The workday ends and the social day begins. People return to their neighborhoods and the streets come alive. Neighbors gather on their porches, children play outside, and the air fills with the sounds of conversation and laughter. The evening is for connection. It is a time for the large family dinners that anchor the week, or for gathering at a local bar to watch a baseball game. On weekends, many partake in the tradition of chinchorreo, a leisurely road trip of hopping between small, rustic roadside bars and eateries known as chinchorros, sampling food and drinks and enjoying music. This is not a culture of quiet, isolated evenings. It is a culture of shared experience, where the end of the day is an invitation to come together. The quiet of the night is not one of silence, but of a gentle, communal hum. Life in this Caribbean paradise is not without its profound and persistent challenges. The beauty of the island exists in a delicate balance with the forces that threaten it. The economy has been a source of struggle for generations, leading to high rates of poverty and unemployment. The cost of living is high, a consequence of the island's reliance on imported goods. The infrastructure, particularly the electrical grid, is notoriously fragile. Power outages are a common and frustrating part of daily life. This vulnerability is most starkly revealed during hurricane season. Storms are a recurring and devastating threat, capable of causing widespread destruction, as seen with the catastrophic impact of Hurricane Maria in 2017. These events test the island to its limits, exposing the weaknesses in its infrastructure and government services, and forcing its people to rely on their own deep wells of resilience. There is also the ongoing and complex debate about the island's political status. The question of whether Puerto Rico should become a state, remain a commonwealth, or pursue independence is a constant undercurrent in public life, a source of passionate division. These are not abstract problems. They are the daily realities that the people of Puerto Rico confront with a mixture of frustration, pragmatism, and an unyielding spirit. So why do people stay? In the face of economic hardship, political uncertainty, and the threat of powerful storms, what is the force that holds people to this island? The answers are found not in logic, but in the heart. They stay for the unbreakable bonds of family, for the comfort of a community where they are known and valued. They stay for the simple, priceless feeling of belonging. They stay for the culture, for a way of life that is rich with music, flavor, and a warmth that cannot be replicated. They stay for the profound connection to the land itself, the mountains, the sea, the light, the air. This is not just a pretty place to live. For many, the land is a part of their identity, an ancestral connection that is spiritual and historical. In a world that is increasingly homogenized, Puerto Rico offers a powerful and distinct sense of place. It is the feeling of home, a concept that goes far beyond a physical structure. It is a connection that is woven into the soul, a heritage that is a source of immense and unshakable pride. To be Boricua is to be resilient. It is to know how to find joy in the midst of struggle, to know how to rebuild, and to know how to celebrate life with passion and gratitude. It is this spirit, this deep and abiding love for their island, that forms the true and enduring foundation of Puerto Rican life. Puerto Rico exists in a constant state of negotiation between its past and its future, between its Caribbean soul and its American reality, between breathtaking beauty and formidable challenges. It is a place defined by the rhythm of the sea, the strength of its families, and a quiet, unwavering spirit that refuses to be broken. Here, life is not measured by its ease, but by its depth. It is found in the warmth of a shared meal, in the beat of a familiar song, and in the simple, profound beauty of a land that is and will always be home. This is the rhythm of life in Puerto Rico, a story of resilience and love, lived far beyond the resorts.